Endgame. Repatriation. A little note. Apparently I was being an idiot again, and my mic was off for the first hour of the recording, which was, well, the entire gameplay. So, I am bound now to recording post-gameplay commentary once again. And this time, unlike the first one I did without it, I am going to record for the entire thing because this is the last part. It needs to have commentary, so here you go. Yeah, I don't like it either. I really don't know why my mic was off. I did not at all ever remember turning it off. So here I am in the convoy again. As you can see, it's kind of some last talking with Ike and the rest of the people. Are you missing out from my commentary? I guess not really. I mean, if you don't think it was that good to begin with, you're not missing much. But it just sucks that the last part of this game doesn't have the live commentary. That annoys me to no ends right now. It annoys me to no end. But there's not much I can do about it. I can't retrieve it. I can't even redo it. By the time I realized it, I had saved over my other save. I mean, the only way to do it would be to redo the other chapter I have saved, but that would give me without Nasir, which I do not want. So, I'm stuck doing it this way. Plus, it wouldn't be authentic anyways, because it wouldn't be the authentic end of the game commentary. As you can see, I had info in this one. They were all labeled as friends. Seems to me it was merely just talking with a bunch of people before the next battle. And it's been a while since we've seen Gifka, the shadow to the King of Gallia. King Kane, I call him. So I'm probably going to do this commentary over the course of the next 2 days, so it might sound different later on. Because right now I'm doing this right as soon as I finish, so my voice is starting to give out a little bit. I looked through the support and I was hoping I can get the final for Mist and Boyd, but that did not happen, unfortunately. I decided there was no one worth doing at this point. And of course, I awarded some of my final experience over here. Kiran, as usual, got some. He seems to always be on the edge of leveling up. Actually, no, that was Titania. Sorry, I got confused. I'm looking at it on a much smaller screen. Maybe if I make my window bigger, though, I should probably do that. That's better. Now I can read it. Of course, I did some for Lucia. Of course, those people at the bottom, I've never used them as much, so... I mean, they don't get much experience. I was just looking through their weapons to make sure they had enough. As you can see, I'm not going to use very many people. Of course, I would have been saying stuff at this point, but hey, I can't do anything about it. Quickly looked at skills, but of course, there really isn't any skills left. I didn't really look at everyone, but you know what? Endgame, what can you do? Well, I can tell you right now, I'm going to look at my mic thing every time I do it. Let's Play now. Here, I want to give Ike the Night Ring. It allows you to kind of act like a horse person. Even if you don't have a horse, that is. She seems to speak a little bit differently versus her normal speech pattern. I don't know why you wouldn't choose Ike to speak at this point. I mean, he is the commander of this entire army. If there's anything, maybe that would have been good in my live one was I was making a joke. If you would have gotten the reference. Sometimes I like to add in little things to see if people would get the reference. I was just saying speech, 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 speech over and over again. If you get the reference, good for you. If you don't, oh well. And of course, before battle, we have to see what happens in yonder walls. And now we're at Crimea Castle. And there he is, Ashnard, flying right up to us. Why is Ike surprised? What was he imagining? So, actually, you know what? This is a good time for me to reflect now. Obviously, we know Grail's real name was Gawain. He was one of the 4 riders of Dain. Does this predate Ashnard? I don't remember ever learning of this in either game. We know that he predates the Black Knight, considering He seems to know. He's the only one who seems to know who the Black Knight is. I only got 14 units. I was kind of disappointed because, I mean, this is the last battle. Why not have an all-out assault? Why must they put people in the back? I decided against Leith because I figured her de-transforming wouldn't help, but I noticed that Nasir was mandatory for whatever reason. I mean, I know he's actually effective against Ashnard, but that still doesn't give me a reason why he was mandatory. Oh well, I learned he's not such a bad person to have after all. Just kind of rearranging it. They always put my weak people up in front. A lot of people. There's one of the boss people right there, Bryce. A lot of Lagoos around. Conditions were obvious. Defeat boss, Ike dies, Alicia dies. Nothing out of the ordinary. Though it's kind of odd that Alicia dies as a condition for losing, though you don't have to have her in there. I kept her in just because. I didn't even get Rise upgraded in his class. Normally I would have. Anyways, there were not too many people actually up near me. Decided to advance Ike up. I figured he would probably be doing most of the killing. I didn't really want the strong guys to advance up who I couldn't kill in one go and then have my weak people vulnerable. So I figured advance Ike up so he would at least probably take up most of the hits. Because I mean, with Aether he recovers himself, so it's not like he's completely vulnerable. Plus he's very good at dodging. I actually decided to bring Ileana back in. Haven't used her in a while. For the first portion of this map, you'll notice that I'm going to hesitate a lot before I make my decision. At this point, I decided to kind of create a little wall and barrier, because I put my recovery people more in between. And then I kind of created a barrier of people, like, to make sure, in case they came from the sides and down, that my recovery people wouldn't be vulnerable, because a lot of these people are a lot stronger in this map. Decided to make it more even. Here we see the knights already starting to move up because Ike is in range. Of course, the dragon also moved up a little bit. But of course, it seems a lot of people weren't going to wait for me. They were going to move up regardless. I decided on to Barn, as you'll see. Allow Nacella and Gifka, or don't call. But why wouldn't you call one of the kings? King Lagoos. Yeah, I was doing a lot of talking at this point. I can't remember what it was. So here's the point I'm starting to hesitate, because I don't know where to put anybody to kill those knights. Because I don't want to have, like, let's say, Soren go up, but then I can't protect him afterwards. I mean, he is stronger than he was when we started out, but, you know, he's still a little weakling to a certain extent. So this point is just going to pad it up for a little bit. So let me think if there's anything else to talk about. Oh, here. Yeah, I actually made a decision with Kiran. But I will say in my commentary, because of maybe just how not well thought out it was, I actually forgot to talk about a few things I wanted to bring up. So I'll get to do that now, actually. Not now directly, but eventually. For one thing, I'll mention why I wasn't playing this in hard mode. Hard mode in this game is difficult. Though, I will say, once you hit the midway point of the game, it's actually not as hard as you would think. I mean, early on when you're underpowered, they put more soldiers sometimes, so that's where it gets a bit hard. Especially that map where you have to defend the mercenary camp, or not the mercenary camp, the castle, the abandoned castle, after Grail dies, because you have all your weak people, and there's so many enemies at that point. But of course, once you get Lord Ike, smooth sailing actually. I found that though I did lose people on occasion, I didn't do too bad. Though the reason I didn't actually do it for this recording is because of this map. This map, I will tell you, is hard enough on its own. However, there is something at the end, which I'll get to when I feel like it, that prevented me from doing it because it would basically stop me from, well, completing the map. I always try to see if I can use Alencia somewhere. But, I mean, you know, she's the queen. No, I mean princess. Queen comes later. But, I mean, she was better than Jill in that other map. I mean, Jill's not bad, but she has problems with accuracy. Unfortunately, because I'm not talking about the gameplay exact, since I'm not actually playing it right now, it's hard to say things, you know what I mean? Only so much I can talk about. Now this was disappointing. I was hoping Ike would get critical, but he didn't. You're gonna see me hit order a lot because I don't think he has any items, so I don't know. It's just something you'll notice. I complained about it a lot when I was actually playing. You'll see that Karan himself will take a bit of a beating in this map. Some previous maps he was really good where he was actually better than Oscar, but here he kind of fell under his potential. Yeah, I'm not going to move from this spot for a long time. If Bryce went to recover. Loser. I like how the dragon takes baby steps. You see, they really don't advance. Looks like the more people I kill, the more they start advancing. Oh, Tabarn joins the party. But where was he the entire time? I don't remember the story. I could just go back and watch it, though. Of course, with Tabarn, Tabarn. Even when I'm doing it like this, I misstep my words. Even though Tabarn was here... Actually, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Well, actually, I know what I was trying to say. With Tabarn here, I was thinking I was going to do a lot better with the dragons. So, I mean, you know, King Lagoos versus dragons. Granted, no one can even really do good damage against dragons, mostly. They got really high defense. I was probably talking there. I was talking about, oh, should I not? I decided I should. I was hoping he'll get Aether. But he doesn't. You know, I thought Dragon's Breath was actually long distance. I don't know why I did think that. Oscar helped out here. He actually got critical. Got rid of that swordsman for me. And got a level up. Probably gonna be ending my turn soon, just debating if anyone's in reach. I always do that. Bryce came down to Tabarn. Also has a long-range weapon. His Wishblade, I mean. Watch it on a small screen. And Dragon went up to Ike. But of course he didn't get Aether when I wanted it. Of course, Korean here is actually doing pretty good. He's not really taking a beating here. Yeah, he lost some HP, but I mean, he's doing better than Oscar will a bit later on. And that was a scary moment when it happens. Now here I had a bit of a conundrum. 2 dragons and Bryce. Actually, 3 dragons and Bryce. Of course, now I have a dragon on my own team at this point. Now it's a matter of how do I want to do things. Because one of the dragons, actually 2 of the dragons are at full HP. How do I deal with that without having people take hits? And Tabarn looked like he was going to take a hit at that point. I mean, even like the accuracy was at 60 something, I think it was. Even the same with Bryce, I was like, well, I don't want Tabarn to take a hit. Here, Oscar did just enough. Oh, and he got critical again. Helpful. I put Oscar over there where he can like block everyone and maybe just weaken them a little bit. Now, the dragons. 63 HP and not able to do that much damage. Though my strategy is always to at least weaken them a bit with Ike and hope for Aether. Generally Ike is good at avoiding them, but this time he didn't. I mean, that took a good, like, what? Just about 20 HP off of him. And of course, who to take care of Bryce? I want to make sure Ike was, like, full, so I used Psychic a bit. Now, of course, I don't really move that many people in between turns because it's like, well, again, I don't want to move them into danger. I mean, the main reason I moved Alencia is because she can backtrack. Oh yeah, I saw this. 22 to 35. Is that, you know what? Let's have her weaken. You know what happened? Killed him in one shot. That's right. Ileana's bolting killed the dragon in one shot. Amazing move. Amazing move. And then my bolting broke. It's actually come in handy quite a bit. Now with that dragon gone, it cleared up some of my guys. Now I can have, like, you know, my other people try and take care of Bryce and the dragon. And of course, oh yeah, he takes away your second move. I forgot about that. I was just kind of hoping to use Soren, but unfortunately, you know, some of these weaker people really can't do much over here. I was surprised that even Ranulf. Of course, with his Wishblade, yeah, he also deactivated Ranulf's second move. The reason why I was kind of hesitating to move them up is because, again, I did not want to leave any of my weak people vulnerable, because these guys are pretty strong. Now it says here that the dragon has 68 accuracy against Tibarn and can do 18 damage. So my fear was always that Tibarn was going to take a lot of damage from some of these dragons. But you'll see what happens eventually. That surprised me too. Take a look at something of him, but I can't remember what it was. At this point, a lot of it had been cleared up. So, I mean, I was willing to move some of the other people up quite a bit now. Figure create defenses. It was mainly actually the dragons that worried me personally. I hated the dragons. Of course, I have my own dragon. That's always good to have. And here the dragon went to Tibarn. He could have gone to Ranulf. Now, it said it would do damage on Tibarn, but apparently he doesn't do any. That kind of confused me. It still sucks, because the dragon still has a lot of HP left. I mean, for me, using Ike against the dragon is the best strategy, because if he hits Aether off, he can basically kill it in one go. Truthfully, I was surprised at how little of those long-distance mages there were. None of them really had any of those far-reaching attacks. I figured on a stage like this you'd have plenty of them. Well, it helped me out at least. Now here, a lot of movement starts happening. Some of those lagoons, those feral lagoons start moving up. Got a few more soldiers in this area now. Figured time to take care of them. Of course, if it all takes any more hits at this rate. You remember the last map, if you watched it. Ranulf, when he was put to sleep, had a chance of dying pretty badly, too. I figured I'd put Oscar there to kind of protect everyone and then use some of my mages or whatever to do some long-distance finishing attacks. I was thinking, Oscar can take it. He's my paladin. He's been there since day one. Tornado. I said about this before, it's a very showy move, you know. It sometimes doesn't do any damage at all, despite the fact that it, you know, looks intimidating. There's quite a few moves like that these mages have. Here I decided to give Nasir a good shot because I hadn't used him that much in the other map. And he's actually pretty good for a big dragon. He's able to dodge that other guy's sword. I will tell you one thing, after doing this post gameplay commentary for a little over a half hour right now, this is very boring. I mean, I have almost no motivation to record the commentary, but I feel I should for the last map, you know. I wish I had my real commentary, but again, I was being stupid, of course. My mic must have got switched off at one point because I have a little switch on my headphones for the mic. It must have got brushed up upon something and it turned off itself, and now I gotta check every time I do a Let's Play. I gotta check to make sure my mic is on. Luckily, the battle itself, I'm gonna say, only lasts a good hour-ish, maybe a bit more than an hour. The rest of it's the ending, which is, wow, it stretches out forever almost. But this part's about to come to a close soon. I extended it to around 37 minutes versus a half hour. I figure, you know what, I didn't know how long this map was going to take me, especially when for the first major portion of it, I'm back here because I'm walking up very cautiously. So one thing you'll notice so far, and I can't remember if I've said this already, Ashnard has not moved up. That's one thing you'll notice. He does not move up in normal mode. That's something in hard mode which makes the map difficult. Eventually he seems to get tired of waiting and he moves up to you. One of the most annoying things that can happen. If I could have used Alencia more for attacking, I would, but, you know what? She's good for recovery as well. Sure, I did better than Jill at one point. I will say, I was doing quite a bit of talking at some of these points, you know. That's why sometimes I'm moving around, you'll see, and while not much is happening, I was talking about some strategy and stuff. Here I decided to end it, and oh yeah, there was a kind of long-range mage guy, but all I did was he put Ranulf to sleep. I don't know why they're always so drawn to Ranulf. I believe here these horsey people come up a lot, but apparently arrows are have no use against Nasir, which makes sense. He's a dragon, he's got scales and all that stuff. He's pretty invulnerable. Even Ike against these big hero ones, he does pretty good. Here he had 2 criticals. Aether and just a regular critical, so he recovered and killed him. Of course it sucks when he doesn't get Aether. Alright, now here's something weird that happened here, you know. I was like, oh, Oscar's gonna do good. So, he doesn't kill this one, unless it happens a bit later. It might happen a bit later, actually. Either way, my thinking was Oscar's gonna do fine over there. I'll just recover him and everything will be good. But as you'll see, that will turn out to not be true. It's kind of funny because Nasir dodged twice, which caused him to step back quite a bit. And I got a level up for him, but though he's now just level 19. He was already pretty high level when I got him. I believe if you let Nasir die with the Black Knight, you'd get Ina instead to use her instead of Nasir. I'm pretty sure Nasir's stronger. Something tells me he is because he's the grandfather. He's just destroying everybody in his way. Just sucks he can't always be a dragon. Anyways, that's the end of this part. I'll see you in the next one.